watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
It's time for some fall baseball right here on FSPN, coming to you from Andre Dawson Field on the campus of the Miami Southwest Eagles. We have fall baseball between the Coral Reef Barracudas and your home team, the Southwest Eagles. The Barracudas are led by Nick Quintero, and he's in his fourth year as head coach of the Barracudas, and he'll be paying a visit to your Southwest Eagles, who are led by head coach Mandy Pelaez in his 12th year as the head coach of the Eagles. Mandy always has a great program wherever he goes, and you can only have a great program if you have some excellent coaches, and he has just that in the likes of J.C. Diaz and Arvis Duranona. Also, Placido Vicente is the fielding coach. Carlos Angulo, Jerry Duarte, and Miguel Tejada round out the coaching staff for your Eagles. Today we should have a good matchup today. It's a nice day for baseball here in Southwest, and we'll be back with your starting lineups right after these messages.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
It's time for fall baseball. We're coming to you today from Andre Dawson Field, where it's the home of the Miami Southwest Eagles. And we have a good one today between the Barracudas, who are coming to pay a visit to the Southwest Miami Eagles. I'm Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. Next to me is the senior Caleb Hernandez, and he's joining me in the booth today. Caleb, welcome to the Florida Sports Programming Network, buddy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
All right, there's a quick look at Caleb and Uncle Muggs here in the booth. We should have a good one today. We have some good insight from a senior who's been here and seen these guys, and you practice with them often. They're your friends, sir. And we're about to get underway here. Tell us a little something about Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, great pitcher, good size for a pitcher, has nice hands, great movement on his fastball, able to locate it well, good off speed, good changeup, is able to put it around the plate wherever he wants it and does a lot of ground balls.
All right, let's go over the Barracuda lineup quickly here. And again, this is some fall baseball brought to you by FSPN, and we're at Andre Dawson Field. And the first batter for
Coral Reef, we got Vega, who's in left field today.
I think it's Willie Vega. All right.
Then second up, we got our shortstop, Oscar Sanchez. Batting third, we have our third baseman, Marcus Garcia. Batting cleanup, our right fielder, Adrian Romero. Then we got fifth, our center fielder, Wagner Jacob. Sixth is
Rossner.
Our DH, Rossner. Seventh is the first baseman, Alex Boyks. Seventh is our extra hitter, Reyes. Ninth, we have second baseman, Dylan Castro. 10th, another extra hitter, Peratoni. And lastly, batting ninth, Josue Enriquez.
All right, that's your lineup. Good job there, buddy.
Thank you.
That was very good. All right, behind the plate for the Eagles. Today, it's going to be Julio Petiti. Petey. Okay, so we got Petey behind the plate. Rodriguez is on the mound. Uncle Muggs in the booth. And we're having a good time here at Southwest Field. I want to thank Mandy and JC and all the coaching staff for allowing us to be out here today. And we're about to get underway. The Blues are here. We're waiting for a few more warm-up pitches from Rodriguez. And your defense is Tejada's at first.
Yes, sir.
And then we're going to have Alejandro Porta at second base. Matt Salazar is your shortstop. Dylan Duarte is getting the start at third. Danny Castellon is in left field. Max Rico is in center field. And Tyler Villamor is in right field. Again, the battery is Rodriguez and Julio Petey. And this ought to be a good one. Pitching coach is coming out for some final instructions, and we're about to get underway here. Andre Dawson Field.
Yes, sir. One of the best Southwest Eagle baseball player of all time. Obviously, Hall of Fame. Great resume, and then can't get much better than that.
Also had another one come here named Warren Cromartie. You ever heard of him?
No, sir.
I don't know if he went to high school here, but he did play on the Expos with Andre Dawson. And in the 80s when I played, Southwest always had a very competitive team. And
we had a switch. Matthew Salazar and Dylan Duarte switching at short of second.
all right, the first pitch from Rodriguez is taken low by Vega. Willie Vega's a left fielder. And that ball swung on and hit foul, and I forgot to move my car, and that did that almost hit the no, we're okay. All right, the count is 1-1. All right. Hernandez, I'm going to teach you how to do the count here. So we got the strikes, 1-1, and everything else is pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, sir.
Rodriguez's pitch is up high. That was an easy take for Vega. Just getting everything straightened out here in the press box here at Eagle Field, also Andre Dawson Field. Rodriguez is working from the full windup, the 2-1.
2-2, taken for a strike.
Called a strike. Okay, the umpire's out behind the mound. I'm looking for him behind the plate. I'm like, there's somebody missing back there. And let's see if we can switch this up. There's a nice view of the batter.
2-2.
All right, so now
ball high.
The count goes full. And now this is the Willie Vega, the left fielder, wearing number 31. Later on, you're going to tell me about those hot pink bats.
Fastball outside, taking ball 4.
That's ball 4. All right, so runner on first. We're going to reset that. It's going to be a walk. Rodriguez walked him, and it's going to bring up to the box Oscar Sanchez. He's the shortstop for the visiting Barracudas, wearing number 11, batting from the right side. So it's going to be righty on righty. Rodriguez, the righty pitcher, now working from the stretch. And Vega with a big lead over there at first. That ball swung on and fouled. I'm going to go move my car after this half inning. A lot of foul balls heading in that direction.
Not safest place to park out here.
I'm going to have to hire somebody with a glove to stand by my car. All right, Rodriguez waiting for a new ball. And if we get a moment here, I want to mention, if you want your rec league, your high school game, or just any game broadcasted on YouTube here, reach out to us. Either call us or send us an email to the Florida Sports Programming Network, and we'll make you a star. And Rodriguez's pitch is up high to the shortstop, Sanchez. So, yeah, man, pretty cool thing here. You know, you get to broadcast your games, and they stay on YouTube perpetually for always, anybody to see. But the reason we do this, Caleb, is for the abuelos and the abuelas and the siblings and people that couldn't make it out here to these 3 o'clock games. It's tough when you're working to get out here. But if you can get home and, you know, watch your son or your grandson's game, that's a pretty cool thing. And this day and age with technology, we got to take advantage of it.
Of course. So
here we are, 2-ball, 1-strike count to the shortstop, Sanchez. The runner goes. Beatty comes up firing. His throw is a little bit late. Vega gets in there for the stolen base. And the Cudas have a runner in scoring position with no outs here in the top of the first inning. And Rodriguez is having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. Fields never looked better, though, Caleb. I mean, you guys do an excellent job. Again, with me is Caleb Hernandez. He is a senior pitcher for these Eagles. And nobody knows the mound better than Caleb here. So a lot of work goes into keeping this field the way it is.
Yes, sir. It's constantly, but it's one of the best fields in Miami-Dade.
You know, you're absolutely right. I've been to a lot of fields, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and this is among the finest, well-kept, and it's a little dry now. It hasn't rained a little bit. That fastball finds the corner for Rodriguez and brings the count.
Oh, strike 3.
Okay, that was a strikeout for Rodriguez. We're a little behind, so that's one looking. So 1 out now. 1 out in the top of the first.
With a runner on second.
Have a runner on second. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Marcus Garcia. With 1 out and a runner on second. here at Andre Dawson Field. And there goes the runner. A little hit and run there by Quinones, the head coach, Nick Quinones, the head coach for the Coral Reef Barracudas. You're next. Quickly, 1 strike the count with 1 out. Rodriguez trying to pitch himself out of a jam here at Andre Dawson Field. He kicks and fires, and that ball's low and away. Rodriguez having a little bit of control issues, don't you think, Hernandez?
Yes, sir. Usually pretty good around the edges, but guess having a little bit of trouble today.
Yeah, you got to be consistent if you want him to chase pitches that are off the plate. You got to give him some strikes. And there's a ball hit well into the 5-6 hole. The runner, Vega, is going to be held up at third. It's going to be a clean base hit for Garcia. And the Cudas are going to have runners in the corners with 1 out in the top of the first inning here at Andre Dawson Field.
This is a clean base hit through the 5-6 hole. Just good fastball, but hitter got around it, hit it hard, got it to the outfield. So.
All right, now batting from the left side, the Cudas bring up number 4, Romero. Adrian Romero, he's the right fielder. Open stance from the left side. Rodriguez fires to first. Garcia gets back in there safely. Julian Tejada playing first base today. Rodriguez trying to keep him close. Got to watch the double steal here.
Yeah.
That ball's taken for a strike. Again, the other voice you're hearing on FSPN today, it's Caleb Hernandez. He's the senior right-handed pitcher for the Eagles. You'll see him out here in the spring. He's going to gobble up some innings for head coach Mandy Pelaez. Rodriguez throws over to first again. Garcia's in safely. Now in high school, you can throw to first as many times as you want, right?
Yes, sir. Not the MLB. Here we got as many attempts as we like.
So we could be here till about 8:30 tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, Garcia with a hefty lead, and there he goes. There's no throw. He's going to swipe second base without a throw from Beatty. That's going to bring the count to
0-2.
No balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed batter.
Rodriguez looks in for the sign.
A legitimate scoring opportunity here for the Cudas. An off-speed pitch, and that got away from Beatty. 1 run is going to score for the Cudas. And Garcia is going to advance to third. And just like that, there goes the shutout. So Romero got walked on that pass ball. We'll have runners in the corners once again for the Cudas. And Rodriguez is going to pitch. Has to pitch himself out of this jam. I mean, he got himself into it. He's got to pitch himself out of it.
No run scored. It was a hit by pitch.
Okay, that was called a dead ball. So no run scored with 1 out. Bases full of Cudas for Jacob Wagner. And he's the center fielder today, wearing number 4. Takes a Rodriguez pitch low and away for a ball. Now, when the base is loaded, do you go from the stretch, or you like to wind it up?
I personally like to wind it up. I feel a little more comfortable out of that, but it's different for every pitcher.
That ball swung on and hit sharply to the right side. Second baseman Porter
Nice
comes
play.
over. Nice play with a sliding. Wagner slides at first. Tejada comes up with the out. The run scores. The runners are going to advance.
And Alejandro with a great play over there at second base. Sliding play. Picks it up. Fires a throw to first base. Gets you out.
Well, he had to go a long way to his left, didn't
Yeah, that was a long way to get over there, but he's got great range out there with the glove.
he? All right, so with 2 outs, the Cudas bring up to the box the designated hitter, Rossner. He's the DH. 2 outs. That
Fastball
ball's
popped up towards the right side.
Tejada's got room.
Out of play.
Just out of play. At least you guys have a little bit of room here at Andre Dawson Field, where
Yes,
some
sir.
parks, like for Doral, for example, you've been to Doral Academy?
Used to play there.
I mean, you can't even get a pass ball. The catcher just sits there. The ball gets by him. Hits the fence.
Bounces right back to him.
Picks it up and throws it back. Home of the Firebirds.
We take pride in our field here. We got a beautiful field, and we like to think it's the best in Dade, but
I'm going to have to agree with you there. So runners on second and third. That ball swung on and missed by Rosner. A big swing there. And now with Rodriguez with 2 outs has a chance to limit the damage to just 1 run with a strikeout here. Purple Pride, the Eagles. Rodriguez's pitch is swung on for strike 3, and that's going to be the end of the top half of the first inning. The visiting Cudas get 1 run, and now the home team, the Eagles, are coming up to bat. Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field, home of the Miami Southwest Eagles, where we have some fall baseball between the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas and the home team, the Southwest Eagles. Joining me in the booth today is none other than the right-handed pitcher, the senior. And there he is, Caleb Hernandez. Caleb, welcome again, and thank you very much, buddy. Tell us what's going on with your boys. They're coming up to bat now, and they need to make up a run.
Yes, sir. Got to get that run back. So leading off today, we got our third baseman, Matthew Salazar. Then batting second, our shortstop, Dylan Duarte. Batting third, left-handed hitter, Max Rico in center field. Then our cleanup hitter today, Tyler Villamar, right fielder. Batting fifth, Julian Tejada, our first baseman. Batting sixth, Brandon Blanco, our DH. Batting seventh, Daniel Castrellon in left field. Batting seventh, the catcher, Julio Pitti. Batting eighth, Alejandro Porta at second base.
It's Michael Cabrera, I think. It's an extra
hitter. I don't think he's playing today.
All right.
We'll have to check up on that when he comes back up to bat. But
all right. And the defense now for the visiting Cudas, Ramon Menendez and Josue Henriquez make up the battery. Alex Boyks is at first base. Dylan Castro's playing second. Oscar Sanchez is the shortstop. Marcus Garcia is playing third. And your outfield is Willie Vega, Jacob Wagner, and Adrian Romero. And that makes up the defense for the visiting Barracudas, who are led by Nick Quintero. And I met him before the game. Really nice guy. He played in Sunset for Coach Pelaez.
Wow.
What a small world. Baseball circle is really small.
Yes, sir. Especially down here in Miami.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the Eagle offense. Are they a power lineup, or do they score in bunches, or are they a base hit, steal a base kind of team?
Definitely a base hit, steal a base kind of team. We emphasize on putting the ball in play and making the defense give us the runs. We love home runs, but that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for line drives in the gaps and moving the runner over.
All right, so the right-handed pitcher Menendez for the Cudas, and Matthew Salazar, the shortstop for the Eagles, is also right-handed. Yeah, he's going to be swapping with Dylan Duarte throughout the afternoon. And the whole infield's going to take some turns. I mean, you could do that in the fall. I mean, it's more, of course, relaxed, and, it's not as intense as the spring. So Menendez is working from the stretch. Good live fastball there.
Yes, sir.
Pretty decent.
Matthew Salazar, been one of the best hitters for this team all fall. Great contact hitter, putting the ball in play.
On deck is Dylan Duarte. He's the third baseman. That ball swung on.
Fouled straight back.
Didn't hit our camera. There's a look at the left side of the infield. Again, a beautiful field here at Southwest. Hernandez comes set. Salazar looks at that one low. Evens the count at 2-2. And it's 1-0 in favor of the visiting Cudas, the Barracudas of Coral Reef. Not too far away. They're only about 10 miles away.
Looking for off-speed pitch in this count, 2-2.
That ball swung on and caught by the catcher, Henriquez. He was asking for that ball high. Now batting, it's the third baseman. It's Dylan Duarte. He'll be followed by Max Rico. And if anybody gets on, it's Tyler Villamor. Duarte batting from the left side against the right-handed Menendez. And there's a bunt down to third base. He slips coming up with it. He fires across, and it's going to be too late. But the third baseman, Marcus Garcia, looked like he got his cleats caught in the grass. Did you see that, Dylan?
Yeah.
Caleb?
The grass got him, but Dylan hit the button a little bit too hard towards the third base side. Didn't come up very cleanly with the play, but grass slipped, and thankfully to his hustle down to first base, got the safe call.
See if we could take a look at that. I mean, that was a bunt, but I mean he messed up the field there, the most beautiful field in Dade County, and he kind of messed it up a little bit. I hope he can fix his divots. Like in golf, you got to fix your divot.
That's exactly how it is out here. But
huge.
We get them fixed up, and our field's very well maintained, so it'll be good.
Go out and fix that between innings.
Rico shows bunt, fouls it off.
Oh, we're just talking about how beautiful that field is, and here comes Garcia and put some spike marks all over it. All right, one out, runner on first.
Max Rico, center fielder, up to bat.
For the home team, the Eagles. They'd like to get a number on the board here for head coach Pelaez. Hernandez throws back to first. Menendez throws over to first. Duarte's back in time. I think I got him.
I think you did.
All right. Duarte creeping off first, and there he goes. The ball thrown high. The throw's over.
Gets away from
Henriquez. It's a good throw, just a little late. Sanchez went over to cover. The ball popped out of his glove. And now the Eagles have a legitimate chance to score here in the bottom of the first. The runner on second base for center fielder Max Rico. Well, both pitchers having a little bit of a hard time finding the strike zone. Menendez fired high. Rodriguez had a little bit of control problems, but he was able to get out of that inning. Stranded a couple runners. Ramon Menendez, the pitcher for the Barracudas. That ball swung on and grounded, and it's a fair ball. One run's going to score. There goes Max Rico.
Upstanding into second base for a RBI double.
That's a stand-up double for Rico. The Eagles are on the board. Good piece of hitting.
Fastball inside, just got around it, put a good piece on it, got it down the first base line, and he's a hustler, so he gets into the second pretty easily there.
All right, in the box with a chance to put the Eagles up ahead, it's the right fielder, Tyler Villamor. So tell me about the, I know you don't hit much and probably don't get on bases as much, but every once in a while I've been noticing the runners are using this Betty Crocker oven type of mitt, and I know it's to avoid, jamming your fingers when you slide. Have you tried that yet?
I have, and they work great. I mean, they're pretty stiff. Strike one from Menendez, fastball in the outside corner. But they do a great job of protecting their hands. They're pretty stiff, so being able to slide into second base, not worry about jamming your finger, being out for the game. So definitely it's an aid. They just look a little funky.
Menendez working from the stretch, takes a peek at the runner, and now he turns and fires, and he got him. Well, he got back in time. I'll tell you, Max Rico was way off the base. He would have turned any sooner, he would have got him. Flirting with danger over there. You don't want to do that with one out and a runner in scoring position with your fifth batter up, your fourth batter up. Tyler, the right fielder, facing Ramon Menendez. And that ball scorched down to third base, and it's rolling into left field. And here comes Max Rico. They're going to hold him.
Villamor goes to second, and second safely.
Excellent running by Villamar. A base hit and he took second on the throw. And that ball was well hit.
Yes, sir. Well hit down the third base line. Great effort by the third baseman. Just couldn't get there close enough. Eagles in great position to take ahead of this game.
All right, so with one out in the bottom of the first inning, the Eagles are tied with the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas. And the Eagles have runners on second and third and a legitimate scoring opportunity here for Julian Tejada, the first baseman. Excellent block there by Josue Henriquez. That saved the run.
Yeah, it's a tough block. Curveball in the dirt.
So
was able to get a glove on it and just kept it in front of him.
So Tejada, the first baseman, the fifth batter with a chance to get a couple RBIs. He's a big boy. He's batting from the right side. Looks like he's got some power. He confidently wiggles the bat, waiting for the pitch. Taken high and in.
Back pick to third.
Enriquez throws over to third. Garcia catches that one. Although I don't want to take anything away from Garcia, but Rico's ball was hit hard. I mean, Tyler's ball was scorched.
Scorched. That was great effort. Hit off his glove, but just great piece of hitting by Villamar.
So Marcus Garcia, the third baseman, has torn up our infield. I hope he fixes it. An off-speed pitch, and that one buckles the knees of Julian Tejada. It looked like a Mike Tyson punch. His knees just buckled. Good off-speed pitch there by Menendez.
Brings the count to 2-1.
2 balls and 1 strike to the first baseman. Is he a senior, junior?
Freshman.
A freshman? He's that big?
Yes, sir.
Can you imagine when he's a senior? There's another off-speed pitch, but he learned from it. Shoots it over to second base where it's picked up by Castro. But 1 run is going to score, and the Eagles are going to take a lead here, 2-1, in the bottom of the first inning with some excellent hitting by Julian Tejada.
Just put a great piece on that ball. I mean, really reached out for it, stayed back on it. Was able to put it in play and score the run. So, great way to give himself up, get the run in, put the team ahead.
Well, he made a great adjustment. He got buckled on the same pitch a couple pitches earlier, and now he just stayed in the box and he was able to reach out and poke that one to second base slow enough for the runner, Rico, to score from third. Now, Tyler Villamor is on third base.
With Brandon Blanco up to bat.
There's 2 outs. And here's your price of admission here, folks. If you want to come out here in the spring and pay $5, you can watch Brandon Blanco, and he'll be worth the price of admission. I mean, you never know what he could do. He can hit a stand-up triple, a double. There's a swing at a high fastball. But he's Mr. Excitement from the left side of the box. He can really get things going here for the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to need him this spring. They're going to need his bat. They're going to need his leadership if they plan to move on in the playoffs on this 2025 spring season. There's another cut. And Blanco goes down swinging, but not before the Southwest Eagles take the lead from the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas 2-1. And you're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field, where it's the home of the Miami Southwest Eagles. And you're here watching fall baseball between the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas and the home team, the Southwest Eagles. I want to thank head coach Mandy Pelaez for allowing us to be out here today. The other voice that you hear in the box is the senior right-handed pitcher, Caleb Hernandez, and he's up here at the press box with us today calling the game. Again, Caleb, thank you very much for taking your time to come out here and give us some insights.
No problem.
So far, great job. I think you got a future in broadcasting. Just don't take my job. Start your own channel. All right, let's get back to the action where we have a few cameras set up. The visiting Barracudas from Coral Reef are now coming up to bat, and they're going to bring up
Boyks.
It's going to be Alex Boyks, the first baseman, followed by Reyes, the extra hitter. Then it's Dylan Castro, the second baseman. And if anybody gets on, it's Peratoni, the extra hitter. Rodriguez is still on the mound. Julian Tejada is playing first base. Porta's playing second. Matthew Salazar at short. Dylan Duarte's at third base.
Dylan Duarte is shortstop, and Matthew Salazar at third.
Okay, they swapped again. Salazar is now going to play third base. Duarte's playing shortstop, and the third baseman is in on the grass for the left-handed batting. And Alex Boyks, the first baseman for the Cudas. The count's even at 1. Now the third baseman creeps back a little bit. The left fielder, Castellon, is playing a little shallow. Rico's shaded over to the right side. Boyk's a tall, lanky kid, long arms, long legs. That off-speed pitch is taken for a ball low. It's a beautiful night here for baseball. It turned out to be a great afternoon. If I can get that guy across the street to turn off the leaf blower, this would be a nice broadcast. Again, I have Caleb Hernandez with me in the booth, the senior right-handed pitcher for the Eagles. You're going to see some action this spring. Are you excited about the spring? I mean, can you wait?
I'm very excited. I can't wait. I wish I was here already, but
all right,
can't wait for the season to come around.
So what are your plans? What's on deck for you as we watch Rodriguez from the stretch? What are your college plans, Caleb? Where are you headed?
Don't know yet. Hopefully going to commit in January right before spring. So,
all right.
Got a couple offers. Can't wait to announce where I'm going and where I'm going to spend my next 4 years at.
All right. I hope you call us here at FSPN and give us a late breaker. Let us release that out to the world. Say, hello, world. I'm Caleb Hernandez, and I'm going to What's the matter, UTech? No? Jose's Technical Institute? No?
Ball 2 taken high, up and away.
No, another left-handed batter now for the Cudas. It's Reyes. He's the extra hitter. Boyks is on first with no one out. It's the top of the second inning. The Eagles are up 2-1. Rodriguez struggling a little bit, trying to find the strike zone. Tell you, Petey's done a great job back there today. Yes,
sir. He's one of the best defensive catchers we have. Transferred in this year, but he's a heck of a ball player. He really commands the game in the infield, and great wall behind the plate. So.
All right, folks, this is a good chance, opportunity to tell you if you want your rec game, your Little League game, or your high school game broadcasted on YouTube, reach out to us here at Florida Sports Programming Network. There you have our phone number, our email, and you can book your game and make your season memorable by professional broadcasting your game. Book now, because, I mean, I got games all spring. Yeah. I got people calling me left and right for games.
The 3-0.
This is Reyes, the extra hitter for the Cudas. From the right side, from the left side.
Ball 4 taken high.
I tell you, Rodriguez has been struggling a little bit today.
Get a mound visit from Eric Rico. Go talk to his pitcher, having a little bit of struggle finding the zone. Arm is a little late, a little behind him, opening up a little bit too early. Just got to calm down out there and really focus in.
So one of the upcoming games that I'm going to cover on February 18th, that's early in the season, I'm going to cover my Coral Park Rams. They're going to be at the Killian Cougars, and they're coached by my buddy Chris Leon. And that'll be a good one. That's at 3 o'clock at Cougar Field. And I'm doing a few of the Matter games as well. But today we're here at Andre Dawson Field watching the Coral Reef Barracudas take on the home team, the Southwest Eagles. Now, this high school has been here since like the 60s. I think it was built in 1966.
It's a long time.
They've had a great program. They've had some good teams here, some good coaches. None better than the current coach, Mandy Pelaez, though. I mean, he puts on a great program. He's got a great coaching staff. We'll get into that a little bit later. One of the coaches just paid us a visit here, J.C. Diaz, and he's been the pitching coach. He's been Mandy's lieutenant, his right hand, for a very long time, for a couple decades now. All right. Now Rodriguez is still on the mound.
With Dylan Castro, their second baseman, coming up to bat with 2 runners on, first and second, no outs. See if Rodriguez can find the zone.
Rodriguez puts that one right over the heart of the plate. And he's the right-hander. It looks like he can drop down a little bit and go three-quarter arm if he has to. Nobody out. 2-1 Eagles. We've got a good one here. The lights are on. He squares the bunt. That ball's away.
Evens the count at 1-1.
So not a bad idea to bunt here by Quinones. Nick Quinones, the head coach for the Cudas. Trying to get something going here. He's down by 1 run in a fall game. It's a 2-hour time limit with these games. So you want to score and score early. Score often. Boyks is on second. Reyes is on
again,
first.
fouls it off. Didn't really get on top of that one. Kind of dropped the bat head last second and just fouled it straight back.
You take a look at head coach Quinones. He's not too happy. I mean, that's 2 bunt attempts. You can't get a bunt down.
It's high school baseball.
It could be a little upsetting for a head coach. You're trying to do something and the players just don't cooperate. Infield is, corners are in. There's a fake throw by Rodriguez to second, but he just bluffed it. So nobody out. We're looking for a pitcher's best friend here. Maybe a comebacker. Ground ball to shortstop, something on the ground in the infield to get a double play. Tejada's creeping in at first.
Ball 2 taken down and away.
Tell you, if Rodriguez could throw a couple strikes, he can get some of these guys fishing for those outside balls. But
he has great movement on his fastball. If he could just locate that inside, gets the ground ball he needs and wants, and that would work out best for him. Just having trouble finding the zone today.
Again, Rodriguez, starting pitcher for the Eagles. Julio Pitis behind the plate. That's your battery. And that ball swung on and fouled at the plate. Finally, we got a strike on the batter. We're 2-2. Nobody out. Coral Reef Barracudas on first and second. Uncle Muggs and Caleb Hernandez in the booth, bringing you the play-by-play on FSPN. Rodriguez fires, and that ball's lined to second base. Over to second for the double play, and it gets over Porta's head. It goes all the way to right field. So Salazar caught that one in the air. He had plenty of time to get Reyes, and he threw it into right field where Villamor picked it up and brought it back in.
Great job by Villamor to pick that up and be able to cover his second baseman. Salazar had all the time in the world to throw it, but mistakes happen, and thankfully we had a right fielder to back him up and recover.
So Boyks stayed on second. Reyes is on first. And with 1 out, the Cudas are going to bring up the EH, the extra hitter, Peritoni, but not before Piti goes out and talks to Jose Rodriguez a little bit, probably going over some strategy. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives some signs to the infield now to see if there's a play on.
Pitcher coach Eric Rico out for another mound visit.
I think this is the second one this inning. This might be a pitching change here. Yeah, he takes the ball from the young Rodriguez, and that's going to be it for him. He's going to give up 1 run, leave 2 runners on. We can't close the book on him yet, and we'll be right back with the new pitcher right after these messages.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
There with me in the booth is Caleb Hernandez, a right-handed pitcher. He's a senior here at the Southwest Eagles. And we have a new pitcher today, Caleb. Tell us about Ederson Urbina.
Great pitcher. He has a very live arm. He's been able to run it up, I think, around 87 miles an hour. Just has a little bit of struggle finding the zone, but great fastball, a lot of run to it. Changeup is pretty much unhittable. Hasn't really given up a hit on it all fall. A lot of movement on his curveball. Just going to be a big arm for us this year. Just needs to hone in on getting that first pitch strike and staying ahead.
Now, you said you were a transfer from Doral, so you weren't on this team last year.
I was on the team last year, but I transferred in January. So I played last year, but my freshman and sophomore year, I was at Doral Academy.
So I was here to witness a couple late regional playoff games. A couple of them stand out. One of them was a 2-1 victory over the Felix Varela Vipers.
That was a great game.
Right here in Eagle Field. That was a great pitching duel. And then that very same week, Varela came to visit again the Vipers from down the street. And they got off to a 4-0 lead, and the Eagles were able to scratch and claw their way back into that game against a pitcher who was, I think, a drafted pitcher.
Yes,
he ended up getting drafted, and you guys were able to scratch and claw. And is that pretty much the mindset of this team, this never say die?
That is. We've always, had a never quit mindset. It's no and can't are two words that we don't have, and that game was just proof. It was against a great arm. There's no, trying to bash against him, but he's a great arm, and we were able to fight our way back into that game and eventually ended up winning and moving on to the regional quarterfinals.
All right, so the right-handed pitcher now for the Eagles is Ederson Urbina with one out here in the top of the second inning. And runners on second and first base. He'll be facing the extra hitter, Paratoni, and he's a left-handed batter.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Take it for strike one.
Strike one to Paratoni. Tejada's playing even with the runner at first. Porta's a little shallow at second, but still in double play depth. Duarte's at shortstop. Matt Salazar's at third base, and your outfield is Castellon, Rico, and Villamar.
Another strong fastball for a second strike.
Good.
Brings the count to 0-2.
Good live fastball from Ederson. So 0-2 the count. He steps off, rubs the ball a little bit.
Wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and with a changeup here. That's his money pitch against the lefties. It's just looks like it's going to hit you, then fades away from you. So
Urbina from the stretch takes a peek over at the runner at second, who's Alex Boyks. No, he went with the cheese. And that was a big strikeout for him there. Paratoni goes down swinging for the second out of the top of the second inning. And it's going to bring up the last batter, the catcher, Henriquez, Josue Henriquez. And if he gets on, it's the leadoff batter, Willie Vega, the left fielder.
Yeah, Ederson's going to be one of our big arms for us this year. Looking for a closer role and just great fastball, plus fastball. Ball's fouled out of play for strike one.
Strike one to the catcher, Henriquez. A 2-1 ball game. The Cudas with runners on first and second. Not sure if this is I don't think this is Henriquez. Enriquez wears number 11. I believe he's on deck. This could be another hitter.
Fastball down, take it for a ball.
1-1 the count with 2 outs. Ederson Urbina is on the bump for the Eagles. Urbina fires, and that ball's low. A good stop by Petey behind the plate. He's been very active back there.
Yeah, it's just been a wall for us all year long, and he's going to keep staying in that position.
Again, the batter's number 28 from the left side. Not sure what his name is. Here's Urbina's pitch, and it's swung on late.
Strong fastball.
Good live fastball right down the middle of the plate and low.
Great pitch to even a count, 2-2.
So with 2 outs, 2 on, top of the second inning, the Eagles are up 2-1. Ederson Urbina's on the mound. He has 2 strikes on the batter. And see you later, strike 3. He comes in and shuts the door. The visiting Barracudas leave 2 runners on base. And your score after 1.5 innings, it's the Coral Reef Barracudas 1 and your Southwest Eagles 2. And we'll be right back with more fall baseball right here on FSPN. Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field for some fall baseball between the home team, the Southwest Eagles, and the visiting team, the Coral Reef Barracudas. And we have a good one here. It's a 2-1 ball game. We're heading to the bottom of the second inning. And due up for your Eagles are Daniel Castellon, Julio Pitti, Alejandro Porta, and then it's the top of the lineup, Matthew Salazar. And it's a beautiful night for baseball here, and I think they would call it West Chetin. So with me in the booth is none other than J.C. Diaz. He's the pitching coach for Mandy Pelayas and the Eagles. J.C., welcome. Welcome to the booth, buddy.
Good to be here.
Hey, you look pretty good in purple. I mean, I think you look better in blue and gold. Oh, but anyway, here he is. We're with the Eagle pitching coach, J.C. Diaz, a former Coral Park Ram, but he's been Mandy's trusted pitching coach for well over a decade now.
Oh, easy. Since probably 2001.
Wow.
Remember, he started off as my assistant coach here at Southwest back in 95, 96. And then he went on to become the head coach at Central. From there, he went to Sunset, where I joined back up with him as his assistant.
Okay, on the mound for these Cudas. Not sure if it's still Menendez. Not sure if it's Menendez. But for the Eagles, it's Dan Castellon. He's the center fielder batting from the right side. So, yeah, it is Ramon Menendez. He continues to be the pitcher for the Cudas. It's difficult here in the fall. Some of these kids don't have numbers. But a 2-1 game is all you can expect. It's a good game. Two good teams. Last year, I was here last spring. The last two games of the season here at this field, you beat Felix Varela Vipers, led by Laser Collazo. You beat them 2-1.
That was actually, we beat him twice.
So the first game you beat them 2-1. That very week, you come back here and beat them again 5-4 after you were down 4-0. Do you remember that game?
Absolutely. Laser had a really good pitcher on the mound.
He ended up getting drafted, that kid.
Yeah, he's a kid that throws in the low 90s, maybe even mid 90s at times. And our guys came to play, man. They really wanted to win, and I think the will to win is what won it.
I was just talking to Caleb Hernandez. He was here in the booth a few moments ago, the right-handed pitcher, the senior, and he was here as well. And he was telling me about how gritty, and there's no quitting these Eagles.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we work on a lot. We want to instill a competitiveness where these guys are always wanting to compete, regardless of the opponent. We want to come out and play hard and play to win.
All right, the voice you're hearing is pitching coach for the Eagles, J.C. Diaz, as Castellon gets walked, heads over to first base. Now the Eagles have had runners on in every inning. It is only the second inning, but that's what you want to see. You want to see some traffic on the bases, especially in a 2-1 game. And tell me about your catcher, Julio Pitti. I know you're the pitching coach, but you guys need somebody to catch the balls, and he's been doing a great job so far today.
Yeah, he's come in here and he's worked his butt off, and he'll be competing with a couple other guys. Should be a good competition for who's going to win the job for the varsity season. But yeah, we do appreciate his hard work and efforts and willingness to learn.
All right, so you're listening to pitching coach here, J.C. Diaz for the Eagles, alongside Uncle Muggs, and we're bringing you some fall baseball here from Andre Dawson Field, and it's a good one. It's a 2-1 ball game in favor of the home team. Couple good hits, some good defense. The opposing third baseman tore up your beautiful field over there with a skid.
Yeah, that could give Pelayas a little high blood pressure.
I tell you, the kid didn't even fix his divot. I mean, you'd think he'd come out and fix a divot.
You can tell he's not a golfer.
Julio Pitti, the catcher. And that ball's taken, and the runner goes, and I think they got him. So Castellón is cut down. A great throw by Jose Enriquez.
Good throw and good tag.
So 1 out. Not sure what the count is to Piti, but it wipes the runners off the bases for the Eagles in the bottom of the second. Rodriguez throws high. Only have one umpire out here today. It's a little informal. It is fall baseball.
Well, the umpire is actually an alumnus from here at Southwest. It's Emilio Fernandez. He was a 4-year starter for my brother George Diaz.
So even though there's no one on base, Menendez is working from the stretch, and he walks Piti, and he'll face the second baseman now, Alejandro Porta. Porta made an excellent play last inning to get an out at first base. Porta batting from the right side. Piti with a modest lead at first base. He's not going anywhere. Portas, he squares the bunt. The catcher picks it up. Enriquez fires over to first in time. It's going to move Piti over to second. But a great catch by Josue Enriquez, jumping out and grabbing that bunt before it went foul.
I don't know. I think that might have rolled foul if he would have just let it go.
I agree. So with 2 outs, the Eagles send up to the box Michael Cabrera. He's the right-handed batter. Piti's on second. A little one-hop comebacker to the pitcher. Menendez fires over to Boyks for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Eagles strand 1 runner here in the bottom of the second. And your score is the visiting Coral Reef Cudas 1 and the home team, the Eagles, 2. And we'll be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network right after these.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field on the campus of the Miami Southwest Senior High School Eagles, where we have some fall baseball between the home team, the Eagles of Southwest, and they're going up against the visiting team, the Coral Reef Barracudas. And with me in the booth is none other than the pitching coach for the Eagles, J.C. Diaz. J.C., welcome again. Welcome back.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Thanks for spending some time with us here in the booth. Really appreciate your insight. Now, your pitcher on the mound right now, his name is Ederson Urbina, and he's got a really live fastball. What can you tell me about Ederson?
Exactly that. He's got a super live arm. He's got really good breaking stuff. And when he's throwing strikes, he's going to be really tough to hit. He showed that last year in the brief time that we had him up. He had some brief innings in varsity. He's a junior this year, and we saw him as a developing pitcher last year, and we're hoping that this year he just steps up and gives us a lot of innings this year.
Okay, so due up for the Barracudas is the catcher, Henriquez, who made a great play on a bunt. Then it's the leadoff batter, Willie Vega.
And he threw out a runner.
Oscar Sanchez is the third batter. And if anyone gets on, it's the third baseman, Marcus Garcia. A couple more warm-up pitches for Urbina, and we'll be able to get underway here in the top of the third inning with a 2-1 lead from your home team, the Eagles of Southwest. And they play on one of the most manicured and well-maintained fields in all of Dade County. And I got to hand it to you, JC. I've been to a lot of these fields around Dade County, and you guys put your heart and soul into this one.
Got to give credit to Mandy Pelaez for the effort that he's put into this field. And yet the coaches definitely do put in their part and help, but Pelaez is a man with a green thumb.
All right, so the leadoff batter right now is Willie Vega. He's the left fielder. Top of the third inning. So tell me a little bit about Urbina and your staff in general, JC. I mean, do you coach this, or do you recommend that they pitch from the stretch even though there's no one on base?
This is a matter of comfort. We want our pitchers to be as comfortable as possible, but he's actually in a windup. It's one of those hybrids.
Modified windup.
Yeah.
And there's a strike.
But if a pitcher doesn't feel comfortable out of the windup, I want him to be able to throw strikes, so we'll let him throw in the stretch if that's the case.
So Urbina from the somewhat modified stretch windup, let's call it. And he steps out. Lets Vega take a breather. 2-1 game in Eagle Country. Pretty symmetrical field here. I mean, it's deep down the left field line. To get a ball out of here, you're going to have to hit it out of a cannon.
It's a tough shot out there, especially the ones usually come in from the east, which makes it even more difficult to hit it out that way. So you don't see an awful lot of home runs. Most of them you see from center to right, because that's the shortest part of the field because of the track. We had to put a fence in front of that track. You can't go beyond that. But definitely left field's a tough poke.
We're at Andre Dawson Field at Eagle Country, home of the Miami Southwest Senior High School Eagles. That Urbina fastball is swung on and missed for strike 3 and the first out of the inning for the Eagles. And the Cudas will bring up to the box the shortstop, Oscar Sanchez. And he struck out looking the first time up against your starter, Rodriguez. So, JC, tell me a little bit about the staff in general. I mean, we saw Rodriguez. We're looking at Urbina here, whose fastball is hit over to the right side, where Porta makes a play, throws over to Tejada for the second out.
You had on Caleb earlier, and he's definitely going to be competing to be in our top pitching spot as number 1. We also have Euclid Alvarez. We call him Ukli. He's going to be competing for that number 1 spot along with Pedro. Pedrito's going to be also competing for the number 1 spot. So we got 3 guys that are in competition, which is a wonderful thing because it only makes you better.
I agree 100%.
By the way, Pedro's last name is Martinez, just like the big leaguer.
Wow, that live fastball is swung on by Garcia, the third baseman for the Cudas.
He can bring it a little bit.
Our pitcher's Ederson Urbina.
So if he could do this, we're looking at him to close off most of our games.
So you're going to treat him as a closer, might start a game every once in a while maybe?
We're going to play it by ear, but yeah, I think his this year the best way he could serve us is probably to come in and shut the door. And if he can do that, I think we're going to be able to win quite a few games.
No balls and 2 strikes to the Cuda third baseman Garcia, who swings at it and hits a lazy pop fly to right field. Villamar grabs it for the third out. The Cudas go down in order, and your score is the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas 1 and the home team, the Southwest Eagles 2. And we head to the bottom of the third inning, and we'll have Matthew Salazar, Dylan Duarte, and Max Rico up for the home team, the Eagles. We'll be right back on the FSPN Programming Network. Welcome back, baseball fans, to Andre Dawson Field, where it's home of the Southwest Eagles. And we have some fall baseball for you between the home team, the Southwest Eagles, and the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas that are led by head coach Nick Quintero. And they were nice enough to pay us a visit. They came across town to challenge the Eagles in some fall baseball. Right now it's a 2-1 ball game. We're heading to the bottom of the third inning. We're going to have up for the Eagles the first batter. Sorry about that. Matthew Salazar, Dylan Duarte, and Max Rico. If anybody gets on base, it's Tyler Villamor. The same pitcher, number 6, is on the mound. It's Ramon Menendez. And in the booth right next to me here sharing is Lucas Crisful, right? Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Lucas, and you play for these Southwest Eagles?
Yes, I do.
All right, what position do you play?
I'm an outfielder.
An outfielder.
It's actually my first year here. I transferred in from True North.
All right, you're a True North, and we're familiar with that. They got that for that turf infield and that natural grass outfield.
Got hands in installing it too.
All righty. So Lucas is going to tell me about his buddy here who's at bat and took a quick strike there. Tell me about Matthew and what type of a hitter he is.
Matthew is one of our better hitters. He has great bat-to-ball skills. Rarely see him strike out. Always putting the ball in play, putting it hard somewhere. And he's just a great overall ball player. Love to have him on the team.
Fakes a bunt there. And that ball got away from Henriquez, the catcher.
Let's see what Matthew can do here. Hopefully he can start it off for a big inning for us.
All right, so it's 1-1 the count. And I've seen Matthew switch positions a little bit with Duarte. He'll play a lot of the infield positions.
Yes, sir. Matthew is a utility player in the infield for us.
Good glove over there. Wow, kind of. Tell me about that one.
High fastball. It's a intriguing pitch for an outfielder. I mean for a hitter. My apologies.
All right, so a strikeout there. It's going to be the first out of the inning. And so the third baseman now, shortstop, also switches around a lot. This is Dylan Duarte, and he's coming in from the left side. He's a left-handed batter.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me a little bit about Dylan.
You know, love to see a lefty batter myself. I personally like to think we have one of the sweeter swings in baseball, and Dylan has one of them as well. He's a great bunter for us. Again, great bat-to-ball skills, hits the ball hard to all parts of the field. Always love to see Dylan up to bat. Always hoping for something hopeful with him. Great swing. Great kid as well. Love to be around him. Great student.
So the voice you're hearing next to me here in the FSPN booth is Lucas Crisful. He's an outfielder for these very Eagles of Southwest High. And that evens the count to his buddy here, Dylan Duarte. So you familiar with the result of last season and what happened with these Eagles?
Yes. Over the summer, I actually had the honor of playing with two of their players, Ryan Fernandez and Michael Cabrera. And they were actually the ones that convinced me to come to the school. They told me about the coach, the great program that they've been running for years. And my brother actually graduated from here in 2019. And he always wanted me to come here because he knew that they had a great program, great coaching staff too. And I'm finally happy that I'm able to experience this for my last 2 years of high school. And so far, I've had nothing but good come from here.
Oh, wait, you're a sophomore?
Junior.
A junior, okay.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, you have this year and then the following year?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you couldn't be in better hands with Mandy Pelaez. I've known him for over 40 years. Stand-up guy, great coach. I went to high school with J.C. Diaz.
Really?
I've known Placido Vicente since we were little kids. And Brandon Blanco's father and I also played Little League together. So Miami baseballs are really small. Everybody knows each
Everyone's
other.
Connected some way, somehow.
I wish we can get a count from this umpire because I don't know what the count is. To Duarte, the infielder. He could play short. He could play
anywhere.
Third base, second base. That ball's like a check swing. He says he swung. Enriquez fires over to Alex Boyks at first for the second out of the inning. Wasn't able to tell, but that looked like a strikeout.
Strikeout, swinging. I believe on a curveball in the dirt.
So that's the fourth strikeout for Menendez. And with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning, it's going to bring up Max Rico. He's a center fielder. He had a double the last time up. Tell me about Max and what type of hitter he is while we see head coach for the Barracudas, Nick Quintero. He's coming out, and we're going to get a new pitcher here. Well, hang on to that thought. We're going to be right back after these quick messages.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here at Andre Dawson Field, home of the Southwest Eagles, and we're watching some fall baseball right here on the Florida Sports Programming Network. It's a 2-1 ball game. There's 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning, and we have a pitching change for the Cudas, and they've brought up the left-handed pitcher Reyes, and he's going to face the center fielder for the Eagles, Max Rico, in a 2-1 ball game with no one out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ramon Menendez started the game. He got 4 strikeouts. He went 2 2/3. And now it's Reyes from the left side, number 21, and he's going to be facing the left-handed Max Rico, and he's the speedy center fielder for these Eagles. And right away he gets off to a 2 balls and no strike count from the lefty. So do you ever pitch much, Lucas?
No, sir. Pitching was never really my thing. I was always one of those kids who kind of just threw hard to throw an inning or two. Never really been my style. And especially after I broke my arm a couple years ago, I was told I can't pitch again. So it really didn't bother me that much, considering I really wasn't much of a pitcher. But I threw a little bit back in Little League.
All right, 2-2 to count to Max Rico. So Max had a double his last time up. Is he a scrappy batter?
Yes, he is. Again, another quality lefty hitter. Max has a great swing. Utility player, can play all around the field. Usually an infielder, but today he's getting the start in center due to some injuries. And again, a 4-pitch walk there. Good eye. Hey, man, Southwest has a lot of scrappy players. Love it.
They proved it last year in a couple of heated games against Varela. I mean, they were able to come back from a 4-0 deficit.
But the secret with here really wasn't the talent. I always heard it was the tight-knit family setting that they have here.
You feel it when you walk into the stadium. You feel the family. You feel everybody, instead of shaking hands, everybody's hugging each other.
Of course,
you're right in the middle of like a residential area, so it kind of feels homey here, man. You know, and I went to a rival high school down the street. I'm not going to mention the name, Coral Park.
Ooh.
So I was always jealous of this program. I'll tell you, I've always saw this field and I said, man, I wish our field looked like this. I wish our community and I wish our neighborhood would back us up like they do here in Southwest. It's really amazing and special what you guys are doing here.
And especially during the spring, you see all these stands get packed with fans, parents, everybody. Just the school creates a homey feeling to everybody.
There's a pickoff attempt, and that got away from Boyks. The runner's going to try to advance. Max Rico is heading to second. He'll make
Aggressive
it.
Turn.
He's going all the way to third. No, he stops halfway. Pitcher cuts it off.
Gets back in time.
And he got back in time, so that runner's going. So let's go. Let's talk a little bit about these guys. You got a great coach in Mandy Pelaez.
Yes, sir.
All right, he can't do it by himself, though. I mean, he's got to have some help. So he's got JC. He's got Arvis, who's in charge of the future, the JV.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk more about these after this pitch. Runner on second. The lefty fires, and that's high. So besides JC and Arvis, Placido Vicentes always here to help out. He never misses a game. And then you have Duran, Angulo, and Tejada rounding all out the coaching staff for your Eagles.
That was a ball. I think it's a 2-2 count.
Okay, 2-2 we think it is, with 2 outs with a runner on second and Eagle on second base.
Hopefully Tyler can capitalize again on this runner in scoring position situation. Did it beautifully last at bat.
The fourth batter, Tyler Villamar, fouls one off. I hope he doesn't hit my car.
Yeah, parking back here behind first base is a dangerous zone.
I got here early, got a good spot, and then I said, well, when the game starts, I'm going to move it. Got so busy that I forgot, and now I'm just praying that no right-handed hitter can hit a ball over there.
Trick is behind left field. Behind left field, they're far down the foul line on the right side.
Tough to hit the ball out of here left field, even though I've seen it done. Wind's always blowing in. I'd
Yeah.
calculate that's 340, 350 down the line.
330, I believe so.
330. It's a poke to get it out of here.
Yeah, you really got to muscle it out. But to right field, it's quite the opposite.
All right, the 2-2 to – oh, I saw that was a 3-2 pitch, so now runners are going to be on first and second.
2 walks with 2 outs. Love to see it.
So the lefty comes in relief with 2 outs, and we were scratching our head wondering why Nick Quintero switched pitchers, but that didn't seem to work out for him or the Barracudas, and now we're going to have another pitching change here. Reyes is coming out, and we're going to be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field on the campus of the Miami Southwest Senior High School. It's Eagle Country. All right, I'm sitting next to Lucas Crisful. He's an outfielder for the Eagles. He's a junior. He's a transfer from
True North.
True North. The Titans of True North. Yeah, I was there not too long ago. And right now we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Barracudas. Number 24. Yeah. Throws the first pitch in the dirt. Sanchez.
Ball got away. Now we have runners in second and third.
All right, I think it's the freshman now, Tejeda. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Can't believe this kid's a freshman. Doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't swing the bat like a freshman. And he's batting 5th in this powerful Eagle lineup.
Yes, sir. Julian's a all-around stud. Throws heavy weights around in the gym like it's nothing. Easy power to all sides of the field. Great kid, too. An amazing work ethic. And he's super, super quick behind the plate, too. But he has the start to that first base.
That ball's taken high. Guys, if you like this content, you want us to continue bringing us these fall games and bringing you the spring games, please subscribe to our channel, Florida Sports Programming Network. Hit like, share, tell your friends, send us some algorithms. That ball swung on. Looked like a little low.
Little chase. It's all right. Julian can get it done with 2 out, with 2 strikes.
Runners in second and third for the home team, the Eagles, looking to score here in the bottom of the third. They're already up 2-1 on the visiting Barracudas. And that ball, he gets picked off third. Rico's in a rundown. He gets hit. It squirms over to shortstop.
Everyone stays put.
Picked up by Sanchez, and if it's like nothing happened. Heads up play by Josue Enriquez behind the plate. He fired over to Marcus Garcia. They got into a rundown. Then the ball hit Rico in the shoulder and went over near shortstop where it was recovered by Sanchez. And nothing happened. Just a lot of running around, and we're back to.
Hopefully Julian can capitalize here with 2 strikes.
So this is the freshman right-handed batter.
I have nothing but confidence in him.
Right-handed pitcher, and that ball swung on and hit high in the air, and it's going near my car. Okay, I didn't hear any windows breaking, so we're good.
Yes, we are.
You know what you guys need here? Valet parking.
Valet parking.
Hand the guy your keys. He gives you a little ticket, takes off with your car, puts it in a safe place, and we enjoy the game without freaking out that your windshield is not going to break.
I know. I mean, we have the safety nets here, but they can only go so high.
Again, we're at Andre Dawson Field, where it's home of the Southwest Eagles. A storied franchise, a great baseball program. And they're up 2-1 here in the bottom of the third inning with a chance to put up a crooked number here. That ball got away from him. Henriquez made an excellent play on ball 4. And the bases are full of Eagles for the DH and worth the price of admission. If you want to come out here to Southwest Field, you pay the $5 to get in. You're going to get your money's worth with this guy, Brandon Blanco, from the left side. The senior can really swing the bat. You never know what you're going to get. You can get a stand-up triple, a home run, a double. Mr. Energy, Mr. Excitement in the box. Blanco takes high, ball 1.
Never a dumb moment with Mr. Blanco around.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you got to watch. You can't even blink. Big wide stance from the left side. Number 24, I didn't get the pitcher's name. It is the fall, a little bit informal. That off-speed pitch is a little bit high, and I think he's being a little careful with Blanco, don't you think?
I would too. With the kid of that size, with the bases loaded, you don't want to give him anything to put over the fence, put in the gap. You want to be strategic here.
Again, that smooth voice that you hear is none other than Lucas Crisful. And that ball's lifted, going foul down the left field line.
Out of play.
And it's out of play, and Blanco stays alive. Lucas was nice enough to join us here for an inning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get some earphone time in and give us some insights on his co-workers.
I like that one.
Your co-workers.
I like that one, co-workers.
Dude, you guys are working, man. This is your part-time job. You all go to school together. Your comrades.
Yes, sir.
Colleagues.
Hopefully we can turn this into a full-time job and not just part-time.
All right, here's Blanco, the DH, batting from the left side.
Still ahead in the count, 2-1.
Bases loaded. He takes that one high. I believe it's 2-2.
3-1. I believe 3-1. One, yeah.
Okay, so
3-1.
Let's go back to 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitcher for the Barracudas is number 24, the right-hander, and that pitch is thrown and taken for a strike, says the umpire.
I believe we're looking at a full count here with bases loaded and 2 outs.
The only umpire we have today. He's standing behind the mound. Blanco from the left side, and he takes that one for ball 4, and that's going to be a run for your hometown Eagles.
I'd love to see a bases loaded walk. Can't complain, can't complain.
As much as you like to swing the bat in that situation, the team comes first.
Yeah. You can't really shake your head at a walk either. It's a free base. It doesn't hurt the average. Bumps up the on-base percentage.
You just pass the baton to the next guy, and the next guy is Daniel Castrillon. He's the left fielder for the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
Comes in from the left side. Tell me a little bit about Danny. As he swings at that ball, it hits over to Oscar Sanchez, bobbles a little bit. It flips over to Castro for the out, and they got away with one there. So a 6-4 to end the inning, but not before the home team, the Eagles, score another run here in the bottom of the 3rd.
So I'd love to see it.
And as we head to the top of the 4th inning, it's the visiting Cudas 1 and the hometown Eagles 3. And we'll be right back with more fall baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field. You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network and a fall game between the Coral Reef Barracudas and the home team, the Southwest Eagles. And in the booth with me today is Lucas Crisful. He is a junior outfielder for these Eagles.
Yes, sir. Love it here. So here we go in the top of the 4th inning. We have Ederson being at the mound still. And catching change, we have Brandon Blanco. First base, Julian Tejera. Second base, Matthew Salazar. Shortstop, Alejandro Porta. Third base, Dylan Duarte.
All right, due up for the visiting Barracudas is the right fielder Romero, followed by Jacob Wagner. Then it's Rosner, and if anybody gets on base, it's the first baseman, Alex Boyks. And the pitcher for your Eagles is Ederson Urbina. And we had J.C. Diaz earlier, and he was telling us about the live fastball and how they plan to use Urbina this upcoming spring, and it's going to be more as a closer role.
Yes.
And do you think that's going to fit him? Is that like his role? He's a guy who's going to come in and get an out?
I think so. Ederson has a very powerful, commanding fastball, blows it by a lot of hitters, and nowadays in today's baseball, that's really what you look for in a closer. And he has a very strong curveball too. Good off speed, got a quick chase, and
okay, that ball swung on over to the shortstop Porta, who bobbles that one. He had plenty of time to get Romero, but he just didn't come up with that one cleanly. And Porta, Salazar, Duarte, they all take turns playing different positions in the infield. And I'm sorry for cutting you off there, but
no, it's fine.
Action comes first.
Yes, sir, of course.
So that's going to be an E6 with a runner on first, and it's going to bring up the center fielder, Jacob Wagner, but not before Romero draws a throw from Urbina, and he's back in time. Now Urbina steps in, and he's coming from the stretch to Wagner, the center fielder, who grounded to second base.
See if we can capitalize and get a double play ball here.
That was a great play by Porta on Wagner's ground ball in the first inning. He was able to gobble that up, and
beautiful sliding play, and got rid of it quick to get him out.
Urbina shakes off Blanco a couple times. They finally come to an agreement. Throws it in the dirt. It gets past Blanco, but not far enough. Romero's going to stay on first. The count is at least 2-1. Scoreboard operator didn't show up to work today.
Our scoreboard actually doesn't work.
Of course it does. State of the art, digital LEDs. Another throw to first by Urbina. Romero's back in time. And the batter from the right side, it's a center fielder, Jacob Wagner. Urbina kicks and deals. Wagner takes high ball.
High and in.
Ball 3 maybe. And I just changed those light bulbs myself out there. It's working perfectly. Beautiful Andre Dawson Field here, home of the Eagles. Romero,
beautiful scenery we have here at night. Love the field.
Romero creeps off of first. He doesn't go, and strike 2 is thrown in there. The count goes full now to the center fielder, Jacob Wagner.
See Edison go after him right here.
Urbina checks the runner, throws to first. Tejada puts the tag on.
Quick tag at that.
Salazar and Porta are in double play depth. Duarte's even with the bag, maybe a step behind the bag at third. And Blanco and Urbina are having a hard time. Maybe they need a pitch calm.
Pitch calms nowadays are actually very, very common. Very helpful too.
All right, here's the full count. Here's the pitch from Urbina. It's a fastball taken high for ball 4. That didn't miss by much, though. So an error and a walk. And that's going to draw a talking to from Brandon Blanco, the new catcher. They're talking things over a little bit. I think they're coming to agreement on what they're going to pitch, what call. Maybe they have a play on. Got to watch the double steal.
Maybe watch a bunt play too. Especially here with high school baseball, you can never be too careful with the bunt.
Are you talking about high school baseball or recreational baseball? If you want your game professionally broadcasted, make your season memorable. Book now. Give us a call or send an email. And there's a wheel play to second. Romero gets back in time. Salazar put the tag on him. So we had Caleb Hernandez in here the first couple innings calling the game. And he's excited about the spring. He can't wait to go out there. He says you guys are going to have 3 or 4 competitors. And there's a bunt laid down by Wagner. He's out over at first base when we had Salazar went to cover as Tejada came in. Sorry, that was Rossner, the DH. And now it's going to bring up the first baseman, Alex Boykes. And Boykes was walked his last time up in the second inning. That's going to draw a visit from head coach Pelaez, right?
Yes.
Is that him? Very rarely you see him out there, though. I mean, he's out there today. It's a fall game.
You know, Pelaez is always out here when he can. Loves the game. Loves to be out here supporting us, helping us get better. You know, it all goes back to creating that family environment, that brotherhood that we have here at Southwest. And the moment you step in between the lines, you can really feel that true brotherhood. You can really feel yourself bleeding purple at the end of the day.
Yeah, you feel it when you walk in here. I mean, you walk in here, you're driving through the neighborhood, you start to see the purple, and the containers are painted purple, the signs, and then you see the big eagle out there and all the purple cushions you guys have over by the batting cages, and you smell the home cooking and Rosie and what she's doing down there. And that, oh, it's amazing.
Gotta appreciate the grilling. And it's not even the baseball feel. You know, even coming here at 7:20 in the morning, you still feel that eagle family. Just walking through the hallways, hearing the morning announcements, always doing things here to help the school, help the community we've built here.
Boykes takes the ball outside. The Cudas have runners on second and third. And there's one out here in the top of the fourth inning. The score is 3-1. In favor of the home team. I'm Uncle Muggs. The other voice you hear is that of Lucas Cresful.
Yes, sir.
And where are you from, Lucas? Where's your family from?
Well, my mom is Cuban and my dad is from Georgia.
Good combination.
Best of both worlds.
They make good outfielders. All right, the junior outfielders with me in the booth. The corners are in for his Eagles, trying to cut down a run at home. Boykes takes a strike. Top of the fourth inning, 3-1 on a beautiful night for baseball. It turned out to be pretty good. We've had a lot of wind these last couple of weeks.
Yes, and love to see that it finally died down.
Can't wait to the spring. I can't wait to come out here and catch a few of the spring games. That ball swung on and missed for strike
3.
Strike 3, and that's the second out.
Sorry, with 2 down. Oh, one thing I can definitely say about Ederson is he doesn't let the situation get to him, whether it be bases loaded, no outs, 1 out, man on second and third, no outs. He always finds a way to get through it, always manages to stay composed, do his job. You know, again, love to see it.
Now batting from the left side for the Cudas, number 21, Reyes. He takes a wicked strike right down the middle. Now, have they clocked him on the gun, Urbina? He's got to be throwing high 80s.
Not that I know of, but if I had to guess, I'd say he's sitting around 85 to 87. Definitely a very firm fastball from him.
I mean, you can hear it popping Blanco's mitt back there. And there you go. And Reyes is late on that one. So 0-2 to the extra hitter Reyes with 2 outs and 2 aboard. In the top of the fourth inning, Ederson Urbina has a chance to get out of this inning unscathed. He kicks and he deals, and that ball swung on and missed for strike 3.
Yes, sir.
Urbina gets his Eagles out of the inning. The Cudas strand 2. Your score is the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas 1 and the hometown Eagles 3. And we'll be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field, home of the Southwest Eagles, where we have some fall baseball between the home club, the Eagles of Southwest, and the visiting Coral Reef Barracudas that are led by Nick Quintero. And he made the trip across town to challenge the home Eagles to some baseball, and it's a 3-1 ball game. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and we've had a really good competitive game out here today. The pitcher remains number 24 for the Cudas. And the catcher, Julio Pitti, stands in for the Eagles. He'll be followed by Alejandro Porta, the second baseman. Then it'll be Michael Cabrera. And if anyone gets on, it's Matthew Salazar, the shortstop. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. That looked like a strike to Pitti. He's been I think it was a transfer, someone said. Pretty good catcher core they have here at Southwest. That one got away from him. So Pitti and Blanco so far, the catchers for the Eagles. They'll give some depth to Mandy Pelayas in that position. It's a long season. You're going to need a couple catchers. And if they're both good and if they both can hit, even better. The 1-1 to the catcher, Pitti. Swung on and missed. Actually, that was strike 3. Runs over to first. Enriquez threw over to Boyks for the first out of the inning. And I'm going to try to get a former catcher here to join me in the booth. Happens to be the father of today. He's the DH. You can see him at catcher. He bats from the left side. So the second baseman, Porta, swings at a high pitch. He made a great play earlier today at second base. And joining me, the other voice you're going to hear today is Ray Blanco. And Ray, welcome to the FSPN booth, buddy.
Well, Muggsy, thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Man, this is a cool thing, man. 2 old Flagami buddies. Haven't seen each other a long time. We're always united by this diamond with clay and grass and this game that we all love so much. So tell me, I mean, you've been out here watching these guys all fall. You saw what happened last year here with Varela late in the regionals. They had some Cinderella story type games where they came from behind and won. And how do you feel about this team coming up in the spring?
Well, Muggs, like you said before, we're a big Flagami fraternity, and I have the opportunity for my son to play for one of our Flagami alumni, for Mandy, which is a great thing. He learns the game the right way. I see a bright future with these kids this spring coming up.
All right, off-speed pitch there to Porta, taken low. Not sure what the count is, but the important thing is I got Ray Blanco, the former catcher here, and he happens to be the father of the catcher for the Eagles, Brandon Blanco, whom we'll see a lot of this spring, hopefully. And that ball almost hits Porta, and it's ball 4. So what? I know you played the catcher position. I know that. And is that something that you instilled in Brandon, or did he kind of pick up that position on his own?
Funny story, Muggs. I'm glad you asked that. I did not want my son behind the plate because I know the torture that I went through with many of others that played alongside with me. He takes up that position one day when he goes to my mom's house and sees a picture of me in catcher's gear.
Oh, God.
And he says, "I want to catch, Dad." I said, "All right, here we go." And fortunately, he hits from the left side, so it's a plus from behind the plate.
All right, Porta's on first with 1 out. And the pitcher kind of steps off the mound. All right, so you got another good catcher on the coaching staff here. Also a Flagami grad, Placido Vicente. Tell me what his role is here besides just joking around and having a good time. And there goes Porta. No throw, and he's going to make it easy. Tell us about Placido.
Plaz, as those of us who know him, always is the joker and the prankster. So therefore, he keeps the team loose. He works very well with the catchers every day, receiving, blocking, throwing. But most importantly, he teaches them the game the right way, the way that we were brought up and taught the game. And he keeps them loose. Whenever they get yelled at, they made run or whatever, then you got Plaz to come along and make a joke out of it to make them feel good again.
You need that. That ball's a pickoff attempt. It's thrown into center field. Porta is going to advance to third base. Jacob Wagner picks it up and brings it into Sanchez, but not before Porta makes it all the way to third base, and now the Eagles have a legitimate scoring opportunity here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They're already up 3-1 with a chance to put another run on the board for head coach Mandy Pelaez and the Miami Southwest Fighting Eagles. Cabrera hit a comebacker last time up. Takes that one high, and a pickoff attempt from the catcher, Henriquez, showing that he's not afraid to throw to the bases. Cabrera with a 1-1 count. There's one out, bottom of the fourth inning. We're at Andre Dawson Field. Cabrera takes, not sure if that was a strike or a ball. I think it's 1-1.
No, it's 1-2 right now.
1 ball and 2 strikes to the batter. The right-handed batter is Michael Cabrera. He's got a chance to score a run with a base hit here. Takes that one high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we were going over the coaching staff earlier today, and we had J.C. Diaz in here, who's been, Mandy's right hand for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, JC's been instrumental to this pitching staff and to this whole core as a unit for years.
Full count now to Cabrera. We also had Lucas Crestful in here, and he couldn't stop talking about the family environment that he feels. He came in from another school from True North, and he says that right when he got to this field, he sees all the purple. He sees Rosie in the concession stand, and he just felt right at home as Cabrera struck out. Tell us about the home environment that we feel here when we get to Southwest High.
I can tell you this, Muggs, from our experience, Brandon, my son, transferred over his senior year to play for Mandy. I want him to, his last year of baseball, to play in a very good baseball environment that'll carry over for his life. And coming here was the same thing. We came in, we saw the purple. From day one, they've accepted Brandon as he's been here the entire time. One thing I do notice, these kids, after practice, I asked my son, are you coming over? No, I'm going to go eat with the guys. I'm going to go pregame with the guys, postgame with the guys. Weekends, they're either at my house, they're always at somebody's house doing something baseball related, and then they go hang out, which is essential to the growing up of our kids in today's society.
Okay, that ball's hit in center field by Salazar. Jacob Wagner
dropped it.
It looked like he dropped that ball. He had gloved it. He had a beat on it, hit him in the heel of the glove, and we saw someone in the Yankees do a similar play, and he makes millions and millions of dollars. Okay, Porta's going to score. It's going to make this game 4-1 in favor of the Eagles. Salazar gets on base. An E8. I haven't written that down in a long time. You don't see a lot of errors from center fielders unless they're throwing errors. And it's going to bring up the third baseman infielder from the left side. It's Dylan Duarte. Dylan had a base hit his first at-bat, and later on he struck out. And he's looking to get a 2-out rally going here for the home club, the Eagles. So yeah, I was talking about the coaching staff. I don't want to get into a big story with 2 outs, but you can't help but to talk about the coaching staff because they are such a close-knit family, and I do want to mention them. So if this ball gets away from the catcher or something happens here, almost did. All right, so let's mention J.C. Diaz, Arvis, who does a great job. Of course, Placido's in that group. And we have Duarte and Gulo and Tejada rounding out the coaching staff here for your home club, the Eagles. And Dylan Duarte's in the box from the left side. And there goes
the runner,
Salazar. And the umpire says he got him. So Salazar gets gunned down. Duarte will lead off the next inning if we have one. But right now we're heading to the top of the 5th inning with your home team, the Southwest Eagles, up 4 runs to the visiting Coral Reef Cudas. And you're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Andre Dawson Field for some fall baseball between the Southwest Eagles and the Coral Reef Barracudas. It's a 4-1 ball game. It's the top of the 5th inning. It's fall, so we only play 2 hours, and this could be it. We have a new pitcher in for the Eagles to shut this down for head coach Mandy Pelaez. The infield, that ball's in the dirt for ball 2. The infield remains the same for the Eagles. We have Tejada, Porta, Salazar, and Duarte are in the infield, and they'll rotate. Brandon Blanco stays behind the plate. And the pitcher walks the leadoff batter with 1 out. Your outfield is Rico, Castrillon, and Villamar. And now the Eagles are looking for a double play to end this. The game started at 5 o'clock. It's 6:50. Turned out to be a gorgeous evening for baseball here at Southwest High. And the left-handed batter for the Barracudas is Peritoni, wearing number 54. Peritoni's the extra hitter. He struck out his last time up. The pitcher for the Eagles is a right-handed pitcher. With the runner on first. He's trying to get out of here and get a win for Mandy Pelayas and the Eagles. And there's a strike. Only one umpire today. And he's standing behind the mound. He's calling balls and strikes and keeping his eye on the bases and any other plays going on anywhere in the field. And that throw over to first, and Castro gets in time. Castro's a runner at first for the Barracudas. Peritoni's the batter on the left side. He swings and misses at that one for strike 3, and there's 1 out. Top of the 5th inning here. Your score is 4-1 in favor of the home club, the Eagles of Southwest. In the box, we might have a pinch hitter for Henriquez. So the catcher, Josue Henriquez, is being hit for by number 5, a right-handed batter for the Cudas. Runner on first and 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. This could very well be the last inning. There's a strike. One out. Dylan Castro's on first base. He's being held on by Tejada. The pitcher for the Eagles deals, and a nice live fastball swung on and missed, so there's 2 strikes. And after walking the first batter, this Eagle pitcher has settled down a little bit and starting to throw some good strikes. There's strike 2. Actually, that's strike 3. And a strikeout looking to the pinch hitter that came in for Enriquez. That'll bring up Willie Vega, the left fielder, for these Cudas with 2 outs. A swinging strike. And the Eagles are only 2 strikes away from winning this ball game. I want to thank Mandy and the entire coaching staff here at Southwest for allowing me to use the press box and to come out here. I want to thank a couple of my co-hosts, starting out with J.C. Diaz, who did a great job, the pitching coach. Caleb Hernandez, the senior right-handed pitcher who was up here for a couple innings. Also, Lucas Crisful. He's a junior outfield transfer from True North, and he gave us some great insight on what's going on in the future of Southwest Eagle baseball. And yeah, that ball's hit Vega in the back. So Dylan Castro will move over to second. Vega will take his place at first, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Oscar Sanchez, who struck out, and then he grounded to the second baseman. And the coach is going to come out here for a second. And I want to thank Ray Blanco, the catcher, longtime buddy of mine, childhood friend, great guy. He's the father of Brandon Blanco, and we're going to see a lot of these guys in the upcoming 2025 spring season. And we'll be here at Andre Dawson Field covering a lot of baseball. So, again, thank you to the entire coaching staff, Mandy and everyone. And if you want to have your team or rec game on YouTube, please give us a call or send us an email. There's a ball high. So it's 1 ball, couple runners on, 2 outs for this young pitcher for the Eagles. He sets in and he kicks. Nice stop back there by Blanco, avoids the runners from advancing. Castro's on second base. Vega's on first base. He got hit by a pitch. Castro got walked, and in between there was a couple strikeouts. And the batter, Sanchez, swings on it, and there's a line drive, could end the game. I don't know if it's Porta or Salazar, but that's going to be it. So your home team, the Southwest Eagles, scored 4 runs. The visiting team, the Coral Reef Cudas, scored 1 run. And we have a winner here. We're going to shake hands. And we're going to stay friends no matter who wins. It's the Eagles of Southwest, Coral Reef. And it's been my pleasure, Uncle Muggs, to bring you the play-by-play. I want to thank Mandy, JC, Placido, Arvis, Ray Blanco, Lucas, Caleb, and everyone that helped us out today. And hopefully we'll be back in the spring to bring you more of this baseball from Southwest Field. You've been watching the Florida Sports Programming Network. Remember to subscribe and follow us for more of this content. Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure. Have a good night.